We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to day 86 of Vibe Coding an App Until I Make $1 Million. Today is going to be a big day because, as you guys know, we have been putting extensive amounts of time into our AI clipping agent. And there's a couple things I want to talk about right away just to kick the stream off. And, you know, I think one of the most important things that we've been facing with this this functionality is that we are working on an incredibly difficult feature. This is a feature that is complicated, that has a lot of moving parts, and that is actually outside of what I'm typically used to in terms of my development experience, right? So I haven't worked with a bunch of Python packages before. I'm a full stack developer. I work a lot with Next, Nest, databases, APIs. So creating something that is a Python related project is a complex thing. It's something that I don't have a ton of experience with. And that kind of brings me into what I want to talk about today, because as you guys know, yesterday was a pretty hard day. I was off 4 hours of sleep, and really, we did not get to where we wanted to be. We got a decent MVP working for our AI clipping agent, but it is not yet at the quality that we need for it to be scalable, or the architecture that we need for it to be scalable. So that kind of brings me into my point today that I want to talk about, because what's interesting, and I think that and you guys are all seeing it, is that nothing that's easy is really worth doing. Things that are difficult have significant rewards. And the thing about difficult things is that in the process, defeat is going to be a commonality, right? And defeat is going to follow you throughout the process with whatever you're doing, right? It's going to be, it's going to follow you. Defeat is going to follow you. And I think that something that's important is what's written up on the board here today. Do not accept defeat. Nothing easy is even worth doing. So it's the challenging things that are worth doing that have the rewards, and the challenging things are going to be the ones where you are going to be defeated. Defeat is going to be in the room with you, all right? And it's up to you whether or not you're going to accept it or you're going to reject it. And it's my ideology that you should not accept defeat. Do not accept it. And that is on full display here because, guys, I made a ton of progress yesterday. There's a couple things I want to talk about as we get the stream started. But today, we are going to make significant progress. I'm going to catch you guys up on what I've been working on. But with that being said, let me pull up the chat. How's it going, chat? Hold up. What's up? How's it going? First one was J35 today. J35, what's up? Metheus, what's up? Shmlani, what's up? DSAD, what's up? How's it going? Everything's going good today. XLI, how's it going? Droid Tech, let's go. Let's go. Good morning. ShriX. Also, shout out to ShriX. That was a really good video that you made yesterday. I watched it and actually did some research on it. Also appreciate you for sharing the information there as well. We just a couple things as well is yesterday we also hit 1,000 members on the Discord community. So I just want to give a big shout out to you guys because, as you know, we are building a community. And we're building, I just dropped that in chat, oops. We're building a community, and actually that kind of brings me into the first thing that we're going to touch on today, which is this new architecture that we're going for, okay? We're going for a brand new architecture for our AI clipping agent, and I actually already have that kind of structured. I do need to update the Discord because we're already past 900 members. We're to 1,000. But if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so and join the Discord. But with that being said, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I'm actually going to bring the desk down because today, I don't care how long we're going to be streaming. Today, we are going to get a fully fledged AI clipping agent working. And what I want to talk to you guys about is what I've learned the past couple days and where we need to go with our AI clipping agent. And I actually want to talk a little bit about the BridgeMind community in that because as you guys know, there's a member of our community that actually has been around for a while. His name is Imperium in the YouTube chat, but I just want to show you guys, I want to pull up the Discord because this is why there's so much value in the BridgeMind community. So his name's Akshay. He's part of our mod team. But I will say, Silent Spectre, what's up? I will say that So Akshay, last night we were all kind of talking about this AI clipping agent, and some people were dropping in clips. But I want to share with you guys what one of the members of our community was able to do, because I was very, very impressed by it. And this is why our community there's just so much good in it, right? Because look at what Akshay was able to do. It's like a big thing. So they have this is what he created. Anti-gravity browser built in to
Pranay, what's up?
So anti-gravity browser control. The agent can click, scroll,
yeah, I'm going to be hiring devs
automatically. While working, it displays an overlay showing its progress and provides controls to stop execution if you need to intervene. So we're going to test this out.
So you guys can see from this here,
you know, Akshay was able to get the hardest part. So I want to kind of emphasize, you know, and draw your attention to what that actually is doing, right? Because what we've been struggling with is this concept of smart cropping. And if you look at what Akshay did, you'll see that what he did really solved our issue, okay? The smart cropping, you can see that it was able to properly format the face cam exactly how we would need it. You know, I was talking with him on the side, and, you know, he was saying, hey, the captions aren't that good, but, you know, the captions don't matter. The difficult part is that smart cropping feature. And so what's really cool, and this is, you know, another thing about this community that I love so much, is that Akshay actually shared with me his repository. He shared with me how he did this, right? And what we're gonna do now, and this is why, just big shout out to you guys, because you guys are helping me in a lot of ways. And I just want to share just genuinely how much I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the support, but I just also appreciate the community, and I appreciate what we've built, right? Because there's so many brilliant minds in this community, and I just know this is only the beginning. And what it's going to turn into in 2026 is just unlimited potential. So, you know, I'm very excited, but we're actually going to be talking now about what did I do. So, you know, let me actually raise the desk back up, because I want to draw some things on the whiteboard about what I've learned and what I believe is an incorrect approach that we did. You know, now that I've been able to take some time to do some research, I think I know the architecture now that's needed for our AI clipping agent to be successful, okay? And, you know, you guys know that we have, obviously, you know, ViewCreator.ai. So ViewCreator.ai, you know, let's say this is our front end. Our front end calls an API, right? And it's a Nest.js API, okay? It's a Nest.js, which is Node. So this is a Node API, which is inherently JavaScript-based and TypeScript-based. And this is where all of our traffic comes through, okay? So there's all sorts of authentication stuff related. You know, there's auth guards, credit guards. This is what has the connection to our database, right? So, you know, when we initially approached this, we were talking about, you know, maybe spinning up a FastAPI microservice. And if you guys didn't know, so FastAPI is a Python-based framework for, as a Python-based API framework. And you know, we were initially talking, okay, maybe we can go through Fast, but then we ended up deciding to go through Nest, okay? And there are some limitations to this, and we knew there would be some limitations to it, but we thought, hey, maybe we can get through these limitations, and maybe we can build it anyway, and then we still only have to worry about a mono repo, right? And what I've found is that this Nest.js API, we do not want our AI clipping agent to reside here. We don't want it here. There's just too many limitations. It's possible that it can end up even slowing our application down by quite a bit. So what I did last night, I didn't stream last night, but I was working, and I was able to get a chance this morning to actually study what Aperium did. So we're going to be taking a look at that. But I was able to do something where it looks like this. Now I'm going to show you guys in a second, but let's say we have a root that's just called, this isn't true, but let's just say it's at clip, right? So clip, this root has the auth guard, it has the credit guard, it has the connection to the database, but when you hit clip, clip is gonna then talk to this fast API, okay? And then the fast API is gonna be able to talk back, okay, to our Nest API. And with fast, I think we are going to be able to overcome the limitations that we were experiencing yesterday, because I think I got to the point yesterday where I realized, okay, there's an obstacle here. And like I said at the start of the stream, you can't accept defeat. Do not accept defeat. Nothing easy is even worth doing. And It's when you're met with the utmost challenges that things are actually, that's how you prove who you are, okay? When you are met with actually difficult tasks, that's who you prove who you are. You know, if it's all easy, then, you know, what do you say, right? But yeah, so let's kind of just, I want to give a quick demo of how this works. So I now have, this is our API running, and then here is some Docker logs. And this Docker logs that you see here, this is actually this this clipping worker. So you guys can see now if I pull out the sidebar here, what you're gonna see is ViewCreator clipping worker. And this is actually a FastAPI. You can see that we have a FastAPI spun up with services, schemas, and routers, okay? So we have a FastAPI structured. Yeah, so J35, that's what we're gonna be talking. We are gonna be integrating OpenCV and MediaPipe, yep. So we're gonna take a look at what Akshay did and kind of talk about it a little bit more. But, you know, let's just talk about what I have set up like right now and look at where we're at right now at the start of the stream, because we're gonna make a ton of progress today. So let's pull up localhost. Warren Dev, how's it going? So let's do this, okay? So the last run I did failed. I think this should be fixed now because I was moving some things around. But now when I run this job, right, I actually did make it so that you can select the clip length as well. That was just a side thing. But now when you run this, you know, what it's gonna do is it's actually going to be able to make contact and talk. Where are the logs here? Right here. So what you guys are gonna see is that, oh shoot. Where is it? I want to see the logs. All right, there's a command that we're going to do to actually analyze the logs. But yeah, so now, you know, we have this Docker container. And it's right here, so we're gonna spin this up here. I think we should be able to see this. It might be a little bit late, but okay. So look at this, guys. So here are the logs here, and what you guys are gonna see is that we're now using this FastAPI successfully, and our ViewCreator API, which is inherently Nest and Node, is able to now make contact with this FastAPI. And with the FastAPI, what I've even noticed right off of the gate is that it's much faster. Okay. FastAPI is much faster than what we were doing yesterday, and as you guys can see, you know, it is working, and I did get it working on 144. Oh, thank you, Linux. Yeah, I see you over on Twitch. I have the Twitch chat open as well, so appreciate you, Linux. So, you know, one thing that I definitely want to talk about is this is now working, and it looks like, look, so it completed in 101 seconds and with one clip, okay? Thanks, Linux. So this is working. Let's pull back the browser. Where is it? Where is it? Let's find it real quick. Here it is. So let's see, did that job complete? So 1 minute ago, it does say failed. Oh, timeout. So it did work, but it said it gave us a timeout warning. So let's fix this real quick. And then we'll open the logs here. Review this. It gave me a timeout warning. Fix this. We need a best practice way where, you know, instead of keeping that connection open, there needs to be a better way for us to not cause these timeout errors. What would be the best approach? So we are going to get this working today. I think that, you know, the limitations that we were experiencing yesterday, in large part, were due to the fact that we had what I would call architecture limitations, okay? The framework that we were using, which was Node and Nest, I don't think that we're going to be able to get the functionality and the scalability that we need to be able to get there, if that makes sense. Matthew, I no longer use Codex CLI. Yeah, I don't use Codex anymore. DevOps, what's up? Anthony said you might want to look at running a queue with dramatic celery. Yep, I think we're going to end up using celery for sure. So I appreciate you mentioning that. I think we're going to use celery. Right now, I'm kind of all in on Opus 4.5. I do think it's the best model. Yeah, Garfield, so that's actually what we're talking about. So as you guys know, Aperium, I see that we have 91 people watching. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. But one thing that I want to draw attention to is that Aperium was able to solve the smart cropping issue. And, so let's take a look. This is with a clip that he was able to generate with what he whipped up. Watch this, guys. The anti-gravity browser built in to anti-gravity. So anti-gravity browser control, the agent can click, scroll, type, and navigate web pages automatically. While working, it displays an overlay showing its progress and provides controls to stop execution if you need to intervene. So we're gonna test this out. So let's actually still no TikTok yet. I'll do a double check, but I did check maybe earlier this morning, TikTok developer. So, what I'm seeing is that Akshay did solve the issue that we were having yesterday, which really was related to smart cropping. That is the main thing that we have is the smart cropping. And yeah, so just as an update for TikTok, we're still waiting from TikTok. TikTok has taken the longest out of all of them to review, but here's what we're seeing on TikTok still. This version of ViewCreator is in review. There may be a delay in the app review process due to a high volume request. We appreciate your patience as we review on your app. So, as soon as we get TikTok updated and fully verified, we are going to, launch ViewCreator 2.0 and start going really, really hard on marketing, but we're still waiting to hear back. So that, that does give us some time to continue. I think that this clipping agent is very important because, if you guys have seen the marketing streams where it's, marketing ViewCreator using ViewCreator, I don't want to have to jump over to Opus Clip to use Opus Clip and then jump back over to, ViewCreator and then use ViewCreator. It all needs to be on ViewCreator. And I think it's incredibly important to have AI clipping. So let's test this. It looks like we just changed, yeah, okay. So that should fix that issue that we had. So let's restart this. Kill the task running on port 3001. All right, so we now have this FastAPI running, and one really interesting thing is that I have Aperium's system pulled up because we're going to be reviewing it. So for example, if I open this up here, what you guys are going to see is that I did import his system for us to review, right? Aperium AI clips. So here's what he came up with. So you have AI config main, and what I want to do is I want to just kind of pull this over here, create a diagram of how this system works for AI clipping, put it in a README file. Not this README. Okay. So, we're going to take a look at that so we can kind of break that down. But he did get the smart cropping working, right? Which has kind of been what's stumping us. So, I was talking to Aperium yesterday. And first of all, I'm super impressed by Aperium and what he was able to do. So W's in the chat for him. Garfield said, so now you'll implement his system or you will build it from scratch. So we are going to be building it from scratch. I already have this FastAPI, but we are going to be looking at what he did to be able to get this smart cropping. So big shout out to Aperium because, he was able to get the smart cropping working at least for one layout type, right? So we're going to look at what he did in this architecture, and then we're going to see what we can do for ours to be able to integrate this. But let's just drop in, let's drop this in and start testing this. So here. All right. So we're going to do a 30 to 60 second clip. Job is now queued. So watch the logs here so you can see if we go over to this here. Hold on, I want to review this. Okay. So, yeah, the first thing, it grabs it, valid clip found. And I will say, this is way faster than what we had working yesterday. So, we did have something working, but even our process inside of that Nest backend, it was very, very slow. it was very, very slow. So, you know, I don't know necessarily why that is, but once I transitioned this over to FastAPI, it sped it up. It probably does the same amount of work in about 1/5 of the time. And maybe somebody in chat knows why, but, you know, I was just interested in the amount of speed improvement that we got in terms of being able to transcribe the whole video. You know, obviously we're using Grok. But yeah, I mean, all right, so let's see here. No such filter. Okay, so it looks like we did get an error here. What failed here? All right, so it did fail. PNK Sounds, what's up? How's it going? But yeah, so, you know, that's the thing is that, hey, nothing that's easy is even worth doing, right? And I think that, hey, even if you have a challenging problem like the one that we have now, you know, we learn along the way, we don't stop, we continue to move forward, and, you know, I think that some of the best developers are the ones that just don't stop no matter what and don't give in to defeat, you know? Thanks, PNK. Yeah, so the hosting for the clipping worker is going to be very easy. You know, I'm a big ECS fan. I'm a big Docker fan, so I'm going to just build a pipeline probably today, depending on how far we're able to get with it. And we're going to build a pipeline up to AWS, and we're going to be able to push it into ECR, then ECS. We're going to have a task definition spun up and a service and cluster spun up for this. So let's fix this, but let's actually start looking at, so we have the cropping system comparison, okay? So cropping system comparison. Cropping system. All right, so this is the README that compares what we currently have to what Imperium did with his system. So we're going to definitely take a look at this. Generate a readable diagram and summary of this so that we can understand it quickly and easily. I don't think that there's really a way to use Claude Code for free. DSAD said if it was easy, everyone would have it. Crucial lesson I've learned in life. Yeah, 100%. All right, so here's an easy to read diagram. So, you know, we have this YOLO only pipeline, and Jesse Pinkman, how's it going? Spencer, coding in 2025 looks a lot different than it did a couple years ago. Also, guys, I see we have 108 people watching. Only 33 likes. So if you guys are watching and haven't already liked the stream, make sure you do so. It really helps support the community. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to integrate MediaPipe and then most likely OpenCV for the face tracking, because that is the issue that I had earlier this morning. So earlier this morning and last night, that is where I spun up this FastAPI, because what I realized is that, yeah, I mean, we need to spin up FastAPI so that we can solve this problem, because, yeah, you do not want to do something like this in Node. That's just what I've learned, is that, hey, this system should not be running in Node, okay? And let's now open this up, the clipping worker. What's the command I can run to listen to the logs? All right. All right, so we're going to evaluate the logs, and I just want to get this working, and then we're basically going to start really enhancing the face tracking system It looks like I changed a couple things around that are causing it to continue to fail, but let's see if this run works here. So I'm going to pull this up, and we're going to drop this in. And I did make it so that you could also choose the length of the clips. Let's just do 15 to 30 seconds so that it's faster. J35 said, how about this? MoviePy V2 for video processing, OpenCV plus MediaPipe for face detection and smart cropping. Yeah, that's what I think. Definitely the OpenCV and MediaPipe. I am not familiar with MoviePy. Yeah, Spencer, that's well said. Okay, so if we go to the logs here, we can see this run. So, you know, it's able to get it. Then it's able to actually, you can even see the JSON. Look at this, raw Gemini response. So it says start time, end time, virality score, layout, summary. The speaker highlights the significant price reduction of Claude Opus 4.5 to compare to its predecessors, making it a more accessible and impressive model despite more intelligent. And then it even gives it tags and insights about that clip. So pretty good improvement, and it looks like the upload is now complete. So now it is completed. So did you guys see how fast that was compared to yesterday? Oh, Aperium. Aperium is now in the chat. Aperium in the chat, guys. Aperium in the chat.
Look at this, and we
so
look
here's
at
where
what
we're
they
at
were
right
able
now.
to do. They were able to produce a more intelligent model for a third of the price. And that is very, very impressive.
So you have face tracking?
When I saw the pricing, I was like, oh, wow. You know, because the pricing on Opus was a great model, the Opus 4.1.
So this has too much face tracking. There's no cropping. So what I want to do is we're now going to take a look at what Aperium has done. So once again, big shout out to Aperium, because what he did was brilliant. He was able to solve this issue. So, you know, you guys can see what we did. So the big improvement is that, you know, from yesterday's stream, we decided, hey, we're at a blockade, we're at an obstacle with this Node.js based system. We're gonna have to transition to FastAPI. That's just how it's gonna have to be, right? So I was able to get us over to FastAPI. I was able to refactor the project to remove the logic that we had existingly and transition it over to FastAPI. And then I was able to update our Nest API so that we are able to integrate this microservice. Like if you guys look up here, you know, we now have the Nest API talking to the FastAPI microservice. So, you know, that's an improvement. But really what we're going to be trying to do today is we're going to be taking a look at, you know, what Aperium did to get this face cropping so good, because he did
like
such a good job.
Thing. So they have the anti-gravity browser built into anti-gravity. So anti-gravity browser control, the agent can click, scroll, type, and navigate.
Just really good work here.
While working, it displays an
Aperium. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to drop this in. I'm also going to add the cropping system comparison. And then I'm going to drop in the ViewCreator clipping worker. I need to update the view clipping worker so that we integrate the better cropping system and face tracking system as seen in the Aperium AI clips, so that we are able to properly crop. For example, in the Aperium AI clips, there is a system where it's able to actually identify the speaker and crop, where let's say the speaker is on the bottom of the screen and then the screen share is on the top. This is done very well in the Aperium AI clip. So I need you to review in depth and generate a plan of how we can update the ViewCreator clipping worker to properly integrate this functionality. All right. So we're going to take a look at this, and I believe, you know, what Aperium did is he's integrated something called OpenCV and MediaPipe, okay? So OpenCV, so Open Computer Vision Library, here's the GitHub repo, OpenCV, it's a public repo, and then you're also talking about MediaPipe, okay? So, you know, these are things that we know that we're going to want to integrate and that Aperium did a great job of doing. So we're going to get this solved in this stream, guys. As you guys can see, you know, we already made, you know, a ton of improvements from yesterday. Aperium said, I actually deployed this on my Ubuntu server on AWS for testing. It has 4-core, 16 gigabyte RAM, M5 instance type, and took around 4 minutes for 7 clips from 32-minute videos. Wow, yeah, Aperium. I'm not sure. I wouldn't know. Talk truth. Yeah, I'm from the United States, so I'm not sure. So you can see here it says Aperium AI Clips produces better Opus style clips with screen content on top, captions in the middle, speaker face on bottom. So we're going to add a multi-tier face detection to face detector. So add media pipe face detection as primary detector with fallback chain. So we're going to initialize media pipe solutions, face detection, initialization, implement detect with media pipe method, implement detect with cascade method. Okay. Okay, let's build it, guys. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm working on ViewCreator. Here's any information that you need. It has over 1,000 users in open beta. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Huge, huge news. You know, we did hit 1,000 members in the Discord community, so that was big yesterday. I appreciate everybody. That's huge. Thanks, Sound Inspector. Video editor, potentially, not to start. You know, the way that I look at it, TreeX, so, you know, video editor, definitely something that's going to be important down the line. For right now, the reason that we're doing this AI clipping agent is because we're waiting on this TikTok verification, which is going to basically make it so that we actually can launch ViewCreator 2.0. And once we do have TikTok verification, you guys are going to see me go way harder on marketing. And one important thing of marketing in 2025, soon to be 2026, is clipping, right? And it's specifically AI clipping, okay? So you're able to clip long form videos into short form clips that you can then use. So you take one long form video and then you're able to use that for multi-purpose for different things. Like, for example, I make one long form video and then I'm able to clip that into 40 clips that I can post across all these different channels. And the power of ViewCreator is that we're going to be able to do this all under the same roof. We're going to be able to clip under the same roof. We're going to be able to create the captions, the hashtags, the descriptions, all under the same roof. And we're going to be able to publish content and schedule content all under the same roof. So, you know, once you have a platform with that, you know, ViewCreator is inherently a marketing platform. So to be able to market ViewCreator using ViewCreator and building marketing solutions that we're going to be able to implement ourselves to market the product itself, you know, you guys can see it's kind of like a feedback loop and it's a snowball effect, because the better features that we have, the better ViewCreator is going to do. And because you have a team in a community and all these different things going for ViewCreator, it's like, hey, it's kind of like what I talked about yesterday. You know, I think somebody asked, hey, are you going to be, you know, working on other projects, right? And what I said is, yeah, no, we're not working on any other projects until ViewCreator gets above probably around $10,000 a month in revenue, which won't be very hard to hit. You know, that's 500 users, which is nothing. So, you know, once we start marketing and put some money behind the marketing and really get this off the ground, it is going to take off. You know, you guys obviously that have been watching for the past 2 months as we've worked on ViewCreator, you know, it's going somewhere, right? And that's the cool part, is that it's just such a good platform that I'm going to be able to use personally to be able to market the platform, to market the community and the channel and all these different things. It's like we've really built a powerful tool here. Yusuf said, hey guys, I hit 14,000 on TikTok today. Proof that discipline and compound interest really work. Congrats, Yusuf. That's awesome. Premium said, for this AI clipping agent that you are building, you should be carefully planned and employed. I can help with that if you don't mind anything. Yeah, I mean, let's see how this. I think today I'm gonna be streaming for a while today. I probably won't stop streaming until we actually get this MVP working. So you know, obviously I'm streaming, but my Discord DMs are open right now, and you know, I'll be paying very, very close attention to anything that you say. Akshay, Imperium, you've earned it, man. Very impressed with your work. Wordy, welcome to the Discord. Welcome to the community. Thanks for joining. I think you'll like it in there. You know. All right. So this is integrating. So for all of you guys that are watching, you know, this plan is integrating MediaPipe and OpenCV, okay, for face detection and better cropping. And I think one interesting thing that we're going to deal with is the multiple different layouts that there's going to be. So the one thing that I noticed about this is that I'm a little bit worried about this layout that it's defining is very fixed. Oh, Wordy, you were the one that said about Opus 4. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, somebody was like, Opus 4.5 just dropped, and I was like, no, that can't be true. So shout out to you, because yeah, that's awesome. All right. All right, so we have just made updates to this now, so we are going to test this. I now need you to rebuild this so that we can test it. All right, so we are going to test this now, guys. Picture, we are getting pretty close. We're about to test it right now. You'll see where we're at. So let's open up the browser here. All right, so you guys can see that the Docker is composing the build. Yeah, so new user just asked, is it open eating your cursor credits? It did, but the thing is, I did just hit my cursor usage, and I've already spent like $40 between yesterday and today. But the thing is, I also did get Claude Max, so I just need to start transitioning to use Claude Max inside of Cursor, so that we don't run up a massive check. All right. Shubham, what's up? This is Cursor, and I use a lot of Opus. So you can see it's downloading everything. Okay. To crop, you need to do what's called smart cropping. Smart cropping. All right, so it's building. So, you know what I think that will end up having to be done is there's going to need to be multiple different layouts that it's able to choose from, right? So, for example, if it's a single speaker, it's going to have to be able to focus on the speaker. Like, you can't only have it split screen, you know, because if there's not a screen share with a speaker, then the split screen is pointless, right? So I'm expecting this to fail. Let's just do a 15-second clip. So we'll kind of watch the logs go through here. So these are the logs coming out of the Docker container. So you can see downloading the video from YouTube. So it's downloaded, audio extracted, and it transcribes it so fast with Grok. So it's way faster. This is way faster than what we had yesterday. Yeah, Imperium. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna need to almost be, okay, so look at how fast that was. So valid clip found. So look at this, app services intelligence planner. So it says valid clip found, and that's doing it from being able to take in the video and transcribe it, right? And so it literally says summary, the speaker demonstrates how Claude Opus 4.5 was able to fix issues that GPT 5.1 and Claude Sonnet 4.5 couldn't. So, you know, it's able to actually find these clips, and now it's actually processing this clip. So this is the big thing that we're testing is, can it now do split clip with face detection? That's the big thing that we want to figure out. Can it do split screen with face detection? And then based off of how this does, we're going to have to start to think through the different layouts. But I will say with this architecture change, okay, look at that. Looks like it's done. Okay, it's done, guys. So let's check it out. When I started using Opus, and this is where it gets interesting. Opus was able to solve where we're having a problem. The issues that we were struggling with and actually build this agent. So with those 70 million tokens, what were we able to do? So if I actually go to this clipping agent, what's really cool review this clip and notice how in the bottom half the speaker is not full width, full screen size. It needs to be able to crop it and enlarge it so it actually takes up that bottom half. What is going wrong here? As you can see, it's not taking up that full bottom part. And then, so I think, you know, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Yeah, I'm using I'm using OpenRouter like in the actual project, but I'm not using OpenRouter. I'm using Cursor natively. Also, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're getting close to 10,000. We hit the goals. So by January 1st, 2026, we want to launch ViewCreator 2.0. We want 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we wanted 1,000 members on the Discord. We already hit that. We may have to set a new goal. I mean, at this point, anything extra is good, but you know, it really has. We've grown so fast that, you know, it's just things have really taken off for this community. And you know, I think that one of the reasons for that is because, hey, as you guys know, I do not perceive myself as a content creator. I'm not trying to be a content creator. I'm on a mission of vibe coding an app until I make $1 million, and part of that mission is not becoming a sellout for a bunch of sponsorships. And I get contacted by sponsors every single day. They'll be like $5,000 for a sponsorship, you know, and it's like, yeah, no, that's not what it's about, right? And in the long run, I think that $5,000 is nothing, because, you know, we're not trying to become a content creator. Like, we're building up a community, and I think that, you know, if you guys were in the Discord for the last 24 hours, it's like you guys can see that this community is working hard together, and I think that that's what it's about. And I think when there's a big difference between a community and an audience. Does that make sense to you guys? So for example, if I was a content creator who was going out making a bunch of sponsorship deals so I could then, you know, basically profit off of my audience, that just wouldn't feel the same, right? But what we're doing is we're building a community, And I'm not going to be shoving products down a community's throat. That's not what I'm trying to do. So, you know, if you guys haven't already joined the Bridgemind community, I would suggest that you do so, because it's helped me out personally so much. And the bigger we get, the better, because that means the smarter people we're going to have in the Discord, the smarter people that we're going to have in the Discord, you know, more people working together. And I think that's a good thing. Imperium said that I think you need to ask AI to look at the video utils and SRC photo from Imperium's clips to properly check how crop is implemented and remove existing code which is causing the issue. The clipping agent is enough to compete with Opus Clip. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna test this one more time to see if this was able to fix it, and I'm actually gonna literally just drop in your chat probably. Yeah, I'm using Whisperflow. Alright, it's rebuilding, and then we'll retest it here. But yeah, the issue is just that it needs to expand this, which I don't think that it's going to be that hard. Is that we can go back in the job history, and first of all, it wasn't even working. Like, in the job history, do you guys see how it says failed? So the problem right now is this window here should be expanded on that whole bottom, right? It should be expanded on the whole bottom part. Failed all here. So this is when we were using GPT. But you know what I think is also going to be a challenge is that we're going to need multiple different layouts. So there's a difference between a screen share layout versus a podcast layout. There's a difference between a screen share layout and just a talking, like literally like almost like this, right? Like if the video looks like what you're watching here, right? And it's just me talking, then it shouldn't be splitting the screen. It should only split the screen when there's a screen share, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's restart the container. All right. What is the command I can run to be able to review the logs live? I don't use Docker Compose a ton. NS, what's up? All right, here's the logs. Actually, I'm going to create a command for this. All right. Okay, so let's now test this. And if not, then Imperium, I'm gonna do exactly what you told me to do. And take note of that utils directory. But let's process this. One thing I will say is with FastAPI, so the first step is downloading video, so you can see in the logs, downloading video from YouTube. So it downloads the video using YTDLP. Transcribing audio using Grok. Transcription completed. Then it's able to plan a clip. So look at this. This is the JSON of the clip. So start time, end time, virality score, layout type, summary, tags, insights, and now it's actually creating it. It's very fast. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys are doing anything related to transcription, Grok is going to be way, way faster if you guys are using, and look at that. So that's so in 90 seconds, we're able to get our first clip. Let's stand up because this is coming through. And if this doesn't work, it's okay because we have a fallback. Aperium does have this working. So maybe we'll take a look. Yeah, it's really fast. Then this is only for one clip though, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty fast. Even just for one clip. All right, completed. Hold up. Look at this, and we look at what they were able to do. They were able to produce a more intelligent model for a third of the price. And that is very, very impressive. When I saw the pricing, I was like, oh, wow. You know, because the pricing on Opus was a great model, Opus 4.1 and Opus 4, but the pricing almost made it unusable. So let's go. Okay. Go over to what Okay. All right, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. This is going to work a little bit. Yeah, this is not working how we want it to, but I'll be right back. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so right now. If you're just joining us, we are working on an AI clipping agent today that's using FastAPI. We've been working on this for about 3 days now. We're getting close. The biggest issue that we're still having is with smart cropping, but I think that we're going to figure it out today. So it's going to be a big day, guys. Let's go. All right, let's get it. Yeah, ViewCreator's making money. All right. Okay, we're rebuilding. We're going to retest this. Facts No Care said, been so cool watching steady improvements being made and then the suggestions from people being actually implemented. Yeah, 100%. Justin Jefferson said, did you use any text prompt in making these projects? Yes. Yep. All right, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer. We are going to get this. I'm telling you, we are not going to stop. I'm not going to stop streaming until we get this fully functional. So this is now up. Let's test this. And what I like now is that because it's so much faster than it was yesterday, the test cycle is a lot quicker. Yesterday, it was taking about 4 minutes for us to generate one clip. And I'm not kidding, now it's taken about under 2 minutes. So we did cut it in half. It might have even taken more than 4 minutes. It might have been 5 minutes yesterday. So video downloaded, audio extracted, transcribing audio. So, just in seconds, it's already calling Gemini. It's already processing. It's already found, look at this, parsed one clip. It already found the clip that it wanted to crop. All these things, such big improvements. Well, right now it's on the local computer, but once you have this spun up in a ECS, it's going to be in AWS. New tax budget. What's up, Max? Also, if you guys are watching, have not already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Like I said, guys, it is very important that you do not accept defeat. Something yesterday, as you guys could probably tell yesterday, yesterday was a tough day. I was off 4 hours of sleep. This clip's already generated, it looks like. All right, let's see this. When I saw the pricing, I was like, oh, wow. Because the pricing on Opus was a great model, the Opus 4.1 and Opus 4, but the pricing almost made it unusable. So let's go over to what Anthropic actually released. So why is it doubling this? In terms of where this stack, why is it? It's all right. We're gonna figure it out. Hold on, let's pull this up here. When I saw the pricing, I was like, oh wow. Because the pricing. Yeah, you don't think anything changed, right? Hold up. Give me the command to be able to rebuild the Docker container and restart the Docker build. Come on, guys. All right, we're gonna rebuild this. Max, I already did. J35, you were right though. I do have to change it. We were growing so fast that we already hit 1,000. Oh, update it. All right, exporting layers. Moscow, we're working on an AI clipping agent right now in FastAPI. All right, there we go. We're done. All right, let's retest. All right, so downloading video from YouTube. I spent about $600 a month on AI. Honestly, we may use Google AI Studio next. Influence Index, what's up? But it is a lot faster than it was yesterday. So I'm happy about the architecture change, because the architecture change is definitely an improvement. So processing local video, 370.9 seconds to 396.6. So this is a 26-second video, or 26-second clip. Rendering clip, much faster. All right, already done. Oh wow, guys. So the reason that this is so impressive is because we were able to instruct Opus 4.5 to be able to say, hey, if there's a screen share, you need to be able to crop. You need to do what's called smart cropping. And we were able to use Opus to be able to do this smart cropping. And Opus was easily able to get the caption solved. It was easily able to get the transcription solved. It was easily able to get, the actual clipping solved. Yeah, it's still not there. I don't know if that picked up on the face. No, that's not quite a W. How do I manage all the API keys? I mean, we're just in environment variables. Talking head. Yeah. We'll probably do a merch job, maybe at like 50,000 subscribers. Well, this isn't the speaker video. This is actually interesting because this is a screen recording of me doing a review of the screen recording. So that's actually the problem there. Let's do another clip. Let's try like another YouTube video. Let's try this one. All right, let's do this one here. I use ECS, so you have a task definition. You can put I use secrets manager. I don't have to rent a bunch. I mean, my AWS bill is about $600 a month, but I do have credits. So, okay, let's try this again. That was kind of a bad example because that one was weird because the clip that it cropped was me reviewing the cropper. Does that make sense? Let's do 2 clips. Let's do 2 clips on this one. So literally that clip was me reviewing the clip. Does that make sense? So that was just kind of weird. Let it work. All right, so look at this. Screen share detected webcam position unknown. Do you see this? So that's actually helpful for the logs. We probably need to drop the logs back in. So Mattis, right now it's the computer because I'm just running it locally, right? So, you know, this runs in a Docker container, right? So, you know, the good thing about Docker containers is that if it works on your machine in a Docker container, it's going to be able to work once you actually have it running in ECS. So that's why I'm a big Docker fan, because, you know, I can just deploy it easily with the CI/CD pipeline. Yeah, there's cheaper alternatives to AWS for sure. And I would suggest those. All right, here's our clips. Right, so you can manage your agents over here on the right, which is fine, right? But I think that ultimately the editor workflow and the editor view is kind of getting phased out. We are really headed towards a more
it's been the same exact thing on
so
on
I
top
like
and
that
bottom.
they have this because this, in my opinion, is the way that things. Okay, so look at the screenshot of one of our clips. The issue that we're currently having is that it's literally putting the same thing on the top and bottom. As you can see, the screen share is both on the top and bottom. There is no face cam that's properly inputted. Review in depth and identify why this is happening. I'm gonna switch to Gemini 3.0. I think it's, at this point, it's smart to do that. Okay, we're going to get this, guys. It took a guy 23 days to do this hard task. Is it the same task or what? You know, I will say one drawback of Opus 4.5 is that the max context window is a lot smaller than the Gemini 3.0 window. You know, the Gemini 3.0 window is like 1 million tokens. So yeah, those are other repositories that I'm referencing in the prompt. Also, guys, if you're watching and have not already liked the stream, make sure you do so. I see we got 137 people watching, only 64 likes. So let's go, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to give up Imperium. We're going to get this. Pranay now right now. I'm very, very... Okay. When face detection fails... Oh! You know what we need to do? We need to drop in... Oh, did it look at the logs anyway? Yeah, let's drop in this entire run. Oh, we should have done that right off the get-go. Okay, so we'll run this crop. Yeah. Yeah, the black bar 100%. Yeah. That's an easy fix, I think. Is this stuck? I'm gonna give a quick shout out to new members of the Discord. Wow, there's a lot of you guys today. Shout out to Exotic, shout out to Peter, shout out to Victor, shout out to Esteban, shout out to Hope Guy, shout out to William K, shout out to Rick, shout out to Pug Pup, shout out to Dennis, and shout out to Ness. Welcome to the community, guys. Very happy that you've joined. If you are not yet joined, I'm going to drop another Discord link in the chat. Make sure you guys join up because, as you know, the Bruce Mine community, it's a community, right? And that's why we're able to do so much. I mean, just for example, you know, Aperion being able to whip this up in 2 days. I mean, that guy's brilliant. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to put ads on the channel, honestly. Yeah, Carter just asked, are you not going to put ads on your channel? So, yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before, but I think that I've decided that I'm not going to monetize the YouTube channel or any of this at all. I think it kind of goes against the mission. I think that it goes against what we're trying to do here because, like I said, you know, content creators that are, they try and build up their audience and then they try and just profit off of their audience, right? And that's not what I'm trying to do. So, you know, I think that if we can build up a community, there's going to be so much more benefit for everybody involved. And, you know, I've been rejecting all the sponsors. I mean, I get sponsorship emails every single day. So what I want to see is I want to see the community grow. I want to see the community more engaged. So what you guys can do to give back is to just engage as a community. That makes me very, very happy because I'm not doing monetization and I've just decided to not monetize, honestly. So appreciate you guys. Influence Codex said, I have been testing. I think Opus is better for backend work, and I use Gemini 3 Pro and Codex for UI. Yeah, Gemini 3 Pro is definitely better for UI, for sure. Knuffles over on Twitch said, hi, Matthew. Can you check my startup and tell me what you think about the design? Studyyear.com. Yeah, I'll check it out. Make sure you join the Discord, by the way, if you guys want to share stuff, because usually when I'm on stream, I can't get like super distracted while I'm on stream, because the main focus is the mission, right? Yeah, D-Sat, I think that makes a good point, you know. And you know, I think, hey, a big reason, in my opinion, for the success on YouTube, yeah, I've not hit the, well, I have hit it for, okay, is this reset? All right, let's see. Give me the command to actually restart the Docker container. Thanks, Linux, over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Yusuf, I know. I think it's more of like a statement. You know, I think it's less like, I know that, hey, you guys aren't going to be mad about, you know, if I took on a sponsor and, you know, Yusuf just said, he said, you know, we wouldn't be mad or anything if you would take sponsors or get monetized. And I think it's less about, I don't know, I think that by doing this, I'm making a statement. I'm making a statement, and I'm staying true to that statement, which is, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to share and to prove what's possible, to inspire others, and to build a community that's based around this technological revolution that we're experiencing. Because there's so many people that don't even know much about it that I think we're going to have to build a community ourselves, right? Man, Gemini 3 Pro struggling here. Malaya, welcome. Sanayo said, I have used 40 million tokens. I have pro plan of Cursor. Have I used all my monthly? You'll have to check your usage. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's test it. We're gonna test with 2 clips, 15-second clips. 15 to 30-second clips, and there it's queued. Hung said that Opus 4.5 with design plugin beats Gemini 3.0 every time, better taste. I never figured out how to get that design plugin working. I do have it. I do have Claude Max now. It's right here. Maybe Hung, you could share how you actually get it working. We could test it out. All right, so we're gonna launch a couple different Claude agents. Okay, you make money through the apps by selling subscriptions. So you build a service, you integrate it with Stripe, and then people will buy subscriptions. That's what SaaS is, software as a service. Okay. Yeah, you can check the description. But yeah, if you guys are new around here, make sure that you like the stream, subscribe, and join the Discord. I'm going to give a quick shout out again. Wow, another 6 people joined. This is crazy, but Discord's blowing up today, guys. Shout out to Malesko, shout out to Stefflo, shout out to The Last World Survival, shout out to Adi, shout out to B. George Sultan. Welcome to the community, guys. We just hit 1,000 members yesterday, and we're already up to 1,033. So big shout out to the 33 members that joined today. Appreciate you guys. Overnight software developer said, I just realized something about using the terminal IDE. I don't use it at all, so I'm out of the loop here. So when you run a program, does it stay running if you execute it from the terminal? What do you mean? I did my Cursor Ultra plan has been met, so I don't want to run up too much money on that. Just want to be smart, because I'll easily I can spend $80 a day on that if I'm not careful. So, what's the use of Docker Compose? So it is a Docker container. So we changed it up. So Jesse, if you missed this, we did change it up, and we are using FastAPI now. Okay, so. Plugin Marketplace. I've already installed it, Hung. I'm just curious as to how do you actually enact it, right? Do you just tell it to use that plugin? Because I already have it installed. Oh, tell Claude to use it? Give me a command telling Claude to use it in chat, and we'll actually test it out. So if you guys see what Hung's saying in chat, there is a plugin that Claude has where it's like a design plugin, front-end design. And what it allows you to do is it makes it better at front-end design. And what Hung's saying is that, hey, Gemini 3 is good at design, but hey, if you use this plugin, it's pretty good as well. Sensi, we're actually still working on it right now. We made a lot of changes since yesterday. The biggest changes are we decided to refactor the architecture of the clipping agent to move from, the node-based architecture to FastAPI microservice. Okay, Claude skills improve my life, yeah. I'm making ViewCreator. Here's some information about it. You can do or exclamation point ViewCreator from information. There's also information in the description. Also, a big thank you and shout out to you guys. We're up to 8,577 subscribers, which is just crazy. So if you guys are new, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Join the community, get involved. Okay, so we're gonna test this. This one did finish, so we're now going to test. So hold on, guys. So I'm going to CD into the ViewCreator clipping worker. And we want to watch this run, so I'm just going to get get the logs here of the worker. Here are the logs. Now let's go here. Okay, so last one failed. We'll do 2 clips, 15 to 30 seconds. And then let's actually watch the logs. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to copy all the logs. And we're going to pass all the logs of this run into Claude. Yeah, I've heard about the Neo Brutalist thing. Aperium said the only thing I like FastAPI is we have 16 microservice that I am working at my work currently and can handle up to 10 million concurrent requests and async requests without even failing. That's crazy. Wow. Thanks, J35. All right, so rendered clip, uploading clip. What's all this? It keeps doing this. What is causing this? AVV failed to get platform. What is causing this? When I am running this, what is causing this? When I am running this, what is causing this? It's a repeated error here. Hung said greatness requires obsession. Have fun grinding, guys. Yeah, 100%. Arush, ViewCreator's made us the most revenue. It's $300 MRR right now. But it's gonna, and I expect that probably early 2026, we're gonna be up to 10,000 in revenue per month, MRR. I don't think it's gonna be hard to get 500 users. Okay, it said the fix is not deployed and that Docker used a cached layer, so let me force a full rebuild. So we're gonna have to do a full rebuild. Motivation Krishna said, can you tell me more about how you organize the Docker container and how do you push it to your server? What do you do for that? Please clarify. Yeah, so when I was initially getting started in development and with AWS, that was actually one of the hardest things that I had to learn. Learning AWS infrastructure and AWS networking is no easy task, right? So, you know, my approach to things like that are working on a project and actually building things and failing and learning through experience and through building is actually the best way to learn. So when I was at Bright Choice, when I was the CEO of Bright Choice, you know, we were getting our AWS configured and it had to be HIPAA compliant and I was in charge of it. And there was probably a 10-day period where all I did was work and teach myself everything there was to know about AWS and to actually get that up and running. And it was incredibly hard. I barely slept, worked maybe 12 hours a day for like that whole 10-day period. But that was it. That was all I had to do. And when you put that into perspective, it's like, okay, you're telling me that all you had to do was work 12 hours a day for 10 days straight, and then you actually became like pretty good at AWS. And yes, that's exactly what I did. But to now answer your question, so Docker, the great part about Docker is that if you use ECR, you can make it so, and I'll actually show you how it works. So let's go over to the ViewCreator API. So here, I just have a GitHub workflows directory. So do you see this here? And then here, you can see that I have an API ECR YML file, as well as a deploy API YML file. And those are the workflows that I implemented to be able to create the CI/CD pipelines to AWS. How will you market this? It's gonna be pretty straightforward because, you know, what's great is that we've built a marketing platform. So the great thing is that, you know, I've had some pretty good success on YouTube, some pretty good success marketing, essentially bridge mined on the internet. And I'm gonna take a very similar approach to ViewCreator. We're gonna be doing a ton of marketing as soon as we get verified on TikTok. So once ViewCreator 2.0 is ready to go, that's what we're gonna be doing. Okay. All right, hold on, guys. Let's let this run. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Also, join the Discord if you haven't already. I'm about to drop drop this in. If you have enjoyed the Discord, there's a link in the chat. All right, let's get it. All right, so one thing I want to try is I have a skill that's downloaded called the front-end design skill. I have the front-end design skill downloaded as a plugin. I want you to use it to be able to completely redesign this page. So we're gonna try this. It's this one here. So this is going to be a good test of Claude Opus 4.5 in design with the front-end design skill. So here's what the page looks like, and I'm going to drop it in. Give it a good test. This is vibe coding. So, I mean, the best prompting, look at this. So it says use skill, front-end design, front-end design. That's pretty cool. So it's using that skill. So it literally is able to, look at this. So it says the front-end design skill is loading. That's pretty cool. So be able to see, this is a good test. Thanks, Lucky. Yeah. If you guys are new around here, welcome in. Day 86. We're just really just getting started. You know, this is only the beginning of this mission. You know, what's cool is that, you know, this mission has stemmed 86 days now, but it really is just the beginning. You know, I've done several startups, the biggest one being Bright Choice, and BridgeMind and ViewCreator is so much further along than Bright Choice was 86 days in. It would blow your mind. We've been able to accomplish a significant amount in just such a short amount of time. Honestly, we've done a great job, so I'm very proud of what we've done. But really, this is just the beginning. I expect that in early 2026, we are going to be at $10,000 a month in revenue because lately we haven't really been trying to drive marketing or revenue. You know, we've been in the building phase. And as soon as we've got 4 out of the 5 platforms approved. We're still waiting for TikTok. And once we get that TikTok verification, it is game on. we're going to start driving revenue like crazy, and you guys are going to see the revenue absolutely skyrocket. So if you want to be a part of the journey, if you want to be part of the mission, make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Join the Discord to get involved. This is a community, and I'm really proud of what we've done so far. So I appreciate you guys for all of your support thus far. But just as a reminder, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Yeah, gotta embrace vibe coding, guys. It is the future. It was, it's interesting. I was watching a podcast with Elon Musk, and we're just so lucky that coding is the first thing that it. Okay, so it says try it now. So let's give it a test. We're so lucky that coding was the first thing. So this is like a big thing. So they have. Okay, so that was not legit. We need to retest this. But coding. If you use AI, you become such a more empowered programmer and so much better. I mean, I think in the future, not a lot of programmers are going to be getting hired that are programming line by line. It's going to be mostly people that are using AI to program. Within 5 years, it's all going to be AI. So I would start vibe coding if you haven't already. Definitely the future of software development. All right, so here it's running. Oh yeah, DSAD 100%. Zenula said, I have Claude Max plan and I'm using it to build an Android app. Any advice? I mean, that's a pretty broad question, but I mean, what frameworks are you on? You using like React Native, or what are you on? Graphite said, I've been using Cursor to assist in coding for around a month. I've written an entire auction platform that covers real estate sales, live auctions, and regular auctions. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Thanks, J35. Big shout out to J35. Shout out to all of our mods and those of you that have been, supportive for a while now. We've been doing this for, a few months now. Big shout out to J35, Linux, Jesse Pinkman. Really appreciate you guys. All right, let's see here. We're evaluating and trying to fix. I mean, it's literally that, right? Guys, it totally bungled up my preview section. So, I'm going to have to roll this back. And I think that this is one thing. I mean, look at this. It literally put the container underneath. So this is just one example there, right? I mean, how good of an example is that? These were both trying to solve this div error right here, right? Okay, so what's interesting about this is it's labeling it as talking head. So the reason that we're not seeing the split screen is because it's doing a talking head. So if we go back here, these are both talking heads as well. Okay, so let's go here. Do another in-depth review of the existing code. Let's simplify. All right. Well, Imperium, that was a talking head. So it's picking up. So, that's where I will say, we need to have the ability to change, but it needs to pick up on layouts, right? So you can see talking head. So it only soloed out the actual screen share.
Also, this one is, where's this at? Okay. So this was using Claude Skills. We're about to see a huge update here. Okay. So this is the updated UI with Claude Skills. One thing I don't like, so you guys just saw that change. And I mean, it did a decent job, right? Very modern. But it didn't stay on theme, right? Your updates were okay, but you didn't stay on the theme of the application, which I didn't like. Review the project and pick up on the theme and update the page so that it actually integrates the theme. And also, the page should be compact and responsive. So, decent, right? Now it's Claude Skills. Any advice for how to use Claude Code effectively? Yeah, context engineering is important. Model selection is important. Not much capital, Richard. How do I host the web apps? AWS. I do not do any private coaching. Yeah, I mean, guys, my perspective on this stuff is, I'm not trying to be like an influencer or a content creator. I'm sharing my mission, right? So I'm not really trying to make money off of YouTube. I'm just sharing my mission, building the community, and we'll see where that takes us, So here's that updated code. Yeah, it'll definitely need to be. Look at this. Guys, it totally bungled up my preview section. So, I'm gonna I mean, Ramit, it just depends on what plans you're on. Claude Code is good. Cursor's also good. All right, what are we playing right now? What was the actual cause of this error? J6, we're building ViewCreator. It has over 1,000 users in open beta right now. We're not really trying to drive revenue. That's going to be early 2026 is when things really start to take off. Right now, we're still waiting on verification for TikTok, but ViewCreator, for those of you that are new, that aren't really sure, I'll just actually kind of do a broad overview. I haven't done this in a while, but ViewCreator is an all-in-one platform for social media growth, okay? So what this allows people to do is it allows you to connect and actually manage all of your social media accounts from one dashboard and then leverage AI so that you can create content way faster. So, you're able to connect to your Instagram accounts, your Facebook accounts, your TikTok accounts, your YouTube accounts, and your X accounts, and it's able to give you all of the AI tools that you would need to actually grow and scale your following and to be able to market yourself on social media. Social media is probably the #1 way to market yourself in 2025 and in the future. So, being able to manage a bunch of accounts from one command center is incredibly valuable. And what I've done, as with my experience in the startup world, as now a content creator and making content, it's given me a very unique approach because I have the vision of AI and how you can streamline these processes. But the thing is like in today's world, you know, there are tools that let you do this, right? It's like, okay, Opus Clip for clipping, Nota for transcriptions, Hootsuite for scheduled posting. You know, there's all these tools where if you pin them all together, you know, you have to spend like $1,000 a month. And really what the goal is to create one comprehensive platform where users are able to actually manage all that from one dashboard. And we're so close to being able to get TikTok verified and get to our ViewCreator 2.0 MVP. But, you know, what we expect is that, you know, once we get ViewCreator 2.0, and here's that update that's coming in, once we get ViewCreator 2.0 hooked up, we're going to start scaling revenue like crazy. And I expect it. Oh, wow. That I actually like that a lot better. There we go. That looks better. I like that. The drag and drop here. Paste URL. That's nice. That's so much better. Nice. Yeah, I'm hosting on AWS. Yeah, I use Max Mode and Cursor a lot. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. All right, so it looks like this is now, you know, rebuilt. What would be the command to be able to rebuild and then restart the Docker container? El Ray over on Twitch said, hi, I'm new here. I code with the new Max GPT. That's nice. Yeah, J6, AWS is expensive, but the thing is that you can get, you can get startup credits. So, for example, they gave me $1,000 this month, so I'm not even paying anything. I'm paying less than I would if I was doing local servers. Dark God Faith, what's up, man? Thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. We're actually about to hit 8,500 or 8,600 subscribers. We are only a couple subscribers away, so I want you to now actually restart and rebuild the Docker container and restart it so that these updates can take effect. Nah, Jay, that's not true at all. I mean, it depends on what you're running, but I know it is. AWS is expensive, but yeah, that's not true. Not 4 to 10,000. I mean, it depends on what you're running. All right, let's retest this. I will say Claude with the skills did do a pretty good job. So we were using over here Claude Code with skills, with front-end dev skills, and it was able to do a really good job. Yeah, Sound Inspector. All right, let's get it.
All right, so I'm gonna try and give it as many logs as possible. And one thing when you guys are vibe coding, it's like, hey, when you're building something, you know, I can see right now, it's literally saying that it's detected 0 faces, right? So that's an issue. That's a problem. So I assume that the clips that we're going to get back are not going to have any faces in them. Yeah. So this is like a big thing. So they have the anti-gravity browser built. As you can see from the logs, it doesn't look like any faces are even being detected. Review the logs in depth and identify why this is happening, because there was a face in the video and it just didn't detect it. So you need to evaluate and analyze why this is the case and pinpoint what's causing this issue, because the clips that were generated were just the screen share, no talking head. So review in depth and pinpoint the error. Data personal efficiency, what's up? Okay, I'll call you dope. Richard, I have a what's called a Mac Studio M3 Ultra. And then for the PC, my PC now is a little bit outdated. I don't really use it for programming, so I will say that I do think that Claude Skills did a pretty good job here with the updates to the UI. Last Sentinel said, impressive progress. I can see you joined the Python ecosystem with FastAPI. I wanted to ask which face detection models are you using? Yeah, so that's what we're struggling with right now. We're trying to use OpenCV and MediaPipe, but there's just something off with what we're doing right now. We're gonna see. Oh shoot! What did I just do? Oh crap! Accidentally rejected the update. Yeah, I like Max a lot better. I think Opus 4.5 is a lot better. It's a pretty good model. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're about to hit 8,600, and there's 142 people watching. Only 107 likes. So if you guys haven't already liked and you've been enjoying the stream, make sure you show the support. Appreciate it. All right, so there's the MediaPipe. So, you know, there is something off with our face detection. Guys, we're 2 subscribers away from 8,600. Thank you. Let's go. All right. So, you know, we're trying to fix that media pipe configuration. Thank you, Sahan. Appreciate it. Wow, look at that, guys. You guys even see that? 8,600. Thank you so much. So this is like a big thing. So they have the anti-gravity browser built in to anti-gravity. So anti-gravity browser control, the agent can click, scroll, type, and navigate web pages. But in our use case, it's like, hey, as a Vibe coder, what tool are you using? Are you using the highly developed cursor tool, or are you using anti-gravity, which just came out, which has limited features, basically just an MVP? I'm gonna say try again, fix it. Pranay, we're kind of locked. We're locked in. All right, it's rebuilding the Docker container, and then we'll be able to test this. But, you know, the issue that we were having is that it really just was not picking up on the face. So we're going to see if it's able to pick up on it this time. All right. All right, the container is now running. Let's give it the old tester. So I'm just going to do this video here. "30 to 60-second clips. We'll do 2 of them. But so you can see from the logs kind of how this works. So, you know, you paste in a URL. You can also either, you know, upload a local video, and it's able to use YTDLP if it's a YouTube video to be able to download the video. It then downloads the video, and then right now you can see it's transcribing the audio. So we use Grok to be able to use Whisper v3 Turbo to be able to do that. Then it calls Gemini to be able to actually process that and figure out what clips should be generated based off of that. And you can see that Grok passed back the response. So clips, start time, end time, virality score, layout. So it's still a talking head, so I don't think that it's picking up. Oh, we do have face. Right? What does that say? You know, and look at this. So then here, we had that anti-gravity agent working on that preview section, right? So what was it able to do with the preview section? Let's go back home and let's see. Look at this. Guys, it totally bungled up my preview section. Thanks, NS. Dope asked, when are you going to do weekly recaps and any kind of product roadmap? Yeah, so, I do think that things are going to, I don't know what's the bad word for it. I think it would be, things are going to compound. We've been in a build phase for so long at this point that once we start generating revenue, I'll be able to bring more people onto the team. Things are going to transition a little bit. Yeah, transition is the best word, I would say. But yeah, we'll get way deeper into product roadmaps and recaps, all that stuff. Probably in like early 2026. Still struggling with cropping. Up here, I'm still in progress. It keeps making talking heads, so look at this. So, I'm gonna have to roll this. And this is, back. I think, what I'm doing right now is we're gonna switch this over so that it does kind of force like a split layout, and we're gonna see what that looks like, because I'd rather have the split layout than a talking head working. But I think that's something that's interesting about just this in general, is that once we do get something working, we'll have to make it so that it can detect these different layouts. Great, now rebuild and restart the Docker container. So this is gonna force the screen share layout, so we can test that. It's called Whisper Flow, Carter. All right. All right, so we're gonna do 3 clips, and this is gonna force screen share. right, look at this. You can see the cropping logs here. Opus clip face crop. That's interesting. Oh, wow. So look at that. It literally says face crop square 471 centered. So it looks like this could potentially work. Yeah, vibe coder will be a career. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We just hit 8,600 subscribers. Appreciate it. From the logs, this looks promising. All right, 3 clips. Oh, wow, that's a lot better. Let's go, chat. W's in the chat. All right. Yep, that was a lot better. We're evaluating and trying to fix. I mean, it's literally, there's still that, you know, available. Yeah, so this is very interesting. So here, like, you can actually see what, so if I go over here, Google, what I want to do, and whoa, it looks like, did my local host get redirected? So I got redirected. That's a lot better. W's in the chat. So I literally did local host, right? And it redirected me to this agent mode. That's very interesting. Did you guys see that? So I put in localhost, right? And then it just redirected me to agent mode over on Google AI Studio. There we go. Okay, so here's ViewCreator. Here's just the home. Let's go! The website, very simple, not complex logic, just very like UI based. And what I want to do is I want to try giving Gemini 3 the ability to update. Before I go any further, this is where I'm going to deploy changes, not to production, but just everything that we have done up to this point. Finally, we have something that's at least, you know, slightly usable, right? So, you know, that's a lot better. That is progress. So I'm now going to, you know, push. All right, so a couple things. The first thing is review the logs of this most recent run. It's a lot better, so I appreciate what you've done, as it does look better. One thing that I have noticed, though, is that the captions section, I don't like how you have made it so that there's literally a caption section that has a black background that separates it and that there's spacing for this. That's not the approach that I like. I don't want any black space for the caption section. I literally want the caption section to just overlay on top of it. The audio sync is not synced. Let's see. Update this little preview that we have here. I want to make some updates to it. It may be on your end. It works perfect on the audio for audio. So let's take like some screenshots here. All right, that looks much, much better. I now want you to update it so that the captions just overlay the video. Another task is to make it so that the crop is full width on the bottom. As you can see there on the bottom, there is some space on the top and then some space on the left where it still shows some of the screen share. It should be full speaker. So notice that from the screenshot, and then identify in the code what we can update to make that fixed, and then implement these updates accordingly. Yeah, so, you know, I think what we're gonna end up having to do is
we're gonna have to make it so that there's like multiple layout types, and how we may start is, you know, and let's move the desk up, because this is big progress, guys. We've been working a while on this, and that's actually the best output that we've gotten so far today. So that's really encouraging. So, you know, I think once we have this working in some type of way, what it'll be is, for example, we have like right now, what you guys just saw is that's the screen share layout. So you could, you know, define a specific layout that to start just for the MVP, users could like pre-select, right? So hold on. So, you know, users could pre-select, okay, this is a screen share layout, right? You have maybe a face, you know, have a face cam, and then you also have a screen share, right? Or you have potentially a podcast, you know, a podcast layout. Like, there's all sorts of potential layouts that we could set up, you know, to be selected right off the jump just by the user. So it wouldn't have to be super complicated, but you know, but then we could move ultimately towards something that auto detects that. But for now, I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. That's huge progress. I feel good about that. No, Motivation Krishna, that's not the case. We're using Docker locally, and in AWS there's something called ECR and ECS, and you can, using Docker, easily be able to get that pushed up. All right. So this is gonna fix our caption issue, as well as there's just a little bit too much white space to it. I want to improve it. I want to make it a little bit better, maybe more responsive. And post, right? And it redirected me to this agent mode. That did me to this agent mode. That's very interesting. Did you guys see that? So I put in localhost, right? And then it just redirected me to agent mode over on Google AI Studio. There we go. Okay, so here's ViewCreator. Here's just the home. J35, we made progress. We made progress. So we're gonna polish this up. But right now, the progress is, if I go to AI Clipping Agent just in full screen here, you know, we have these 3 clips. So if I go over here, what I want to do, and the issues I see is that there's just some white space around. See the white space? That's interesting. So and it technically isn't white space. It's just that it's not perfectly cropping. The monthly bill on AWS is currently $600. Then I have a bunch of AWS credits. So, but we're gonna fix that cropping issue, as well as it's making space for the captions. So you guys can see that the captions, see that there's spacing for the captions. That shouldn't be the case. It should literally just, you know, overlay the video. Shri, oh, I already answered your question. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more testing, Lucky. XCarm said, what happens if you upload an image with no face detected? So that is then, that's when, you know, back to my point of having the different layouts. There's, you know, screen share, and then maybe there's like talking head, where, you know, it's just, you know, a person talking, and then it's able to, you know, take that, and then that's the 16:9. So I think, you know, there are different layouts, and we'll get to know what those layouts actually are. But just to start, for our use case, I think, hey, screen share is obviously a layout that we're going to want to use. And we'll kind of go as we go along to figure out how we could potentially make that automatic. Okay, so the Docker builds building. Yeah, J35. We're gonna test it one more time. I will say though, one thing that we did do for sure is this tool is way faster than it was yesterday. It is so much faster, so much faster. So that's like one thing that's really nice. Yesterday it literally took 5 minutes, and now it takes about like 1 to 2 minutes max. So that's what, Ronald, that's what we're talking about with selecting the different layouts. So we'll probably make a layout selector, and then we'll start it with making it, custom layouts where you select between different layouts, but then we can enable something that makes it auto detect the layout and then auto select, right? All right, looks like this is ready. J35, exactly, yeah. So, we'll kind of start manually. I think it's better to start manually and get the layouts working, right? Like, how do you define a layout and how do you get a particular layout working? Probably best to get it kind of working like manually to start. And then based off of that, that's when you then integrate maybe a model that's able to do that selection for you, right? All right. Yeah, that's an option, Droid Tech. All right. All right. All right, let's get it. Let's test it. I like testing on full browser better. All right, go back. So 30 to 60 seconds. Whoa. 400 error. Oh. We're good. Probably need a more user-friendly error for that, but yeah. Flux 2 Pro just hit. Is it good? Armor Jack, how's it going? This is not Klein, this is Cursor. That's cool. It even process it says rendering. We'll fix this up, but that's cool. Lucas, how's it going? Also, guys, just a side note, if you guys have not already joined the Discord, make sure you do so. There's a link pinned in the chat. I'll drop another link, but we just passed 1,000 members yesterday. Just dropped another link to the Discord in. Let's see here. Looks like this is... It's on 3 of 3. All right, uploading, completed. All right, fingers crossed, boys. I never really used factory AI. Wow, oh my gosh, guys. Guys. Oh my gosh, W's in the chat. W's in the chat, guys. W's in the chat. I already know this is gonna bang. Holy shit. All right, W's in the chat, guys. Wow. All right, let's just download this one outright. Let's see how good it is. This is the clip. We're going to be testing it out. Wow. This was released 3 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Pro. This came with it. So I'm going to be going over a little bit about the things that I've learned as well as testing out some of the features. And then I'm also going to be comparing it to Cursor, because I'm a huge Cursor fan. I have no sponsor or affiliation with them, but I use Cursor as my main IDE and as my main vibe coding tool. So I'm going to be using anti-gravity today, and I'm going to be
crazy W's in the chat. Spam the chat with W's. WWW. Let's go.
Workflow or not?
That's
or
crazy.
What I think the long-term trajectory of this is. Wow. So this is like a big thing. So they have the anti-gravity browser built in to anti-gravity.
Yeah.
So anti-gravity browser
codes, let's go.
The agent can click, scroll, type, and navigate web pages automatically. While working, it displays an overlay showing its progress and provides controls to stop execution if you need to intervene. So we're gonna test this out. So let's actually like kind of get into it. So I want to go over here, okay? And I have my website for ViewCreator. It's running on localhost 3000. So if I go over here, what I want to do, and whoa, it looks like that my local
guys, I have something to tell you guys. So yesterday, I was working pretty much all day on this, and I ended the stream, and I was looking back through the chat, and somebody at the very end of yesterday, they told me, they said, "You're out of your depth here, just give up." And you know what I thought? Yeah. Yep. So, do not accept defeat, guys, because, if you just keep pushing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the obstacle is. I'm just very, very happy right now, honestly. And this is what happens, when things are hard. There's not anything that's easy that's even worth doing. So, yeah, I mean, we did it, guys. First of all, before I get too ahead of myself, I just want to give a big thank you to Aperium in the chat, Aperium in the chat, because and this is why I appreciate the community so much, is because Aperium was actually the one to get an approach working and to say, hey, here's what I did to get this working, right? And I thought that his approach was brilliant, and that not only was it brilliant, but he was able to get it working very, very quickly. So I just want everybody to drop a W Aperium in the chat as well, because, just big shout out to him, because it's very impressive, his work. So Aperium, genuinely from me to you, thank you, man, for showing me that and teaching me how you did it. But with that being said, let's dive a little bit deeper. This is finally just the first working prototype. Obviously, there's going to be issues with this. There's plenty of ways that we're going to be able to make this better. But that was the first time that we actually clipped something and we actually got a good result. So, let's just try this. Let's just take a video, right? And let's drop a couple different types of videos in, okay? So let's drop in this here. We're gonna drop in this video, and then this is gonna reveal like some pretty big, so let's just generate a bunch of clips. Let's generate 8 clips, 15 to 30 seconds, and then 30 to 60 seconds, 8 clips from that video. And then we're also gonna go to that Prime Again video. Yeah, J35, yep, thank you. We're gonna go to the Prime Again video, Prime Time. And, I think this is actually gonna show us, let's just use this one here.
So I think where we run into an issue is when you have the multiple different screen types, right? So for example, hey, we got the screen share layout working, which the screen share layout is this, right? Screen share, you got a face cam, and then this is easy because you're creating a 9:16, right? And then we use OpenCV to be able to detect the face, and then we use cropping, and then let's say that goes here, right? So that's the bottom half, and then it takes here, and it takes the action, and puts it there, right? But what we're gonna see really soon here is, hey, what happens when you just have somebody that's just talking, right? And I think that what's gonna happen is it's gonna try and shove this in the ear, and what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna have like some weird thing on the top and then some, the face on the bottom. It's gonna be forcing a split screen. So that's like kind of the next challenge. I will say though, is that you don't necessarily need it to be perfect, especially for our purposes. It's like, hey, now what we're gonna be facing is, for example, job management, and then actually getting this up into ECS so that it works. Aperium said Primetime should watch this, that we cracked entirely. Top video is basically 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah. And guys, this is the power of the community. It's like, hey, there are people out there that are just trying to make money off of, oh, whoa, hold up here. Hold on, we just got a conversion failed error. You guys see this? The prime again one failed. Maybe it's because of the layout. That's interesting. We'll see why in a second. That one did fail though. Oh. Interesting. Conversion failed. Okay, now I need to push code. Big time. Okay. Yeah, one thing I will say, ShriX, Opus Clip doesn't even do that correctly. Opus Clip isn't even doing that very well. Also, guys, if you guys are watching and have not already liked and subscribed, we did just get this working, so make sure you join the community. That's the thing is that, I'm building this community for the sake of building a community. You guys are not going to see me take on a bunch of sponsorships. You guys are not going to see me try to make money from YouTube. I'm just not interested in it. I'm actually interested in the mission of vibe coding an app until I make $1 million. And I think that, hey, that's what makes what we're doing here so unique. Is because of, like, I don't know who it was. They were like, hey, we wouldn't be mad at you if you took a sponsorship or if you turned on monetization. And I think it's more of like the I don't know, the symbol, it's like, hey, it's a statement, right? Of not taking sponsorships and not monetizing the YouTube channel is a statement of what we're going to accomplish. Pranay said, let's do push-ups. All right, guys, let's do push-ups. We're wait. Oh, wait, this is completed though. Hold up, before push-ups. Wow, look at that, 8 clips. Are you kidding me, guys? 8 clips, look at that. All these are great. What's crazy is this is actually how I use it. Guys, this is faster than Opus Clip. This is way faster than Opus Clip, because Opus Clip, it takes like 10 minutes. Mindmaker said you should monetize yourself though. Without it, it's not a sustainable mission. I disagree with that, because the main mission is to build up an application that's going to generate significant revenue. The mission is not to start making a bunch of money off of an audience, right? It's genuinely, yes, I want to build an application that produces significant revenue, so I'll be fine. Also, guys, let's crank some push-ups. Let's go. Oh, let's go. That was long awaited. Shout out to Pranay in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, so, I mean, these all look great. Look at this. You guys see that? So it literally knows about ViewCreator 2.0. So if we go up here, you can see it's like perfect.
It's
for
so
ViewCreator
perfect.
2.0 and BridgeMine.
It's literally perfect.
From memory, but that's kind of an interesting thing. Oh my gosh, do you guys see this? This is definitely. But you know, for those of you that are new to vibe coding and new to the world of coding with AI, this is what it used to look like only a year ago. So you know, it's like, hey, clarification needed. And this is terrible. This here is, yeah, untitled post, just all sorts of issues that it created. So I'm gonna rate GPT 5.1 inside of ChatGPT at least. GPT 5.1, you cannot code
GPT.
ChatGPT. Charizard, what's up? So let's go, guys. We did it. Let's now go back and see if we can get the Prime Again video working. I just want to see what it produces, right? Let's just do 3 clips, 30 to 60. Just to see what it does when it's not in that screen share layout. All right, guys. Now that ViewCreator is correctly producing clips, we are going to cancel the Opus clip membership. Where is it? Let's see. Subscription. All right, cancel plan. Switching to another tool. ViewCreator.ai. I just let them know. I said, yeah. No, they're trying to give me a free month. Yeah, cancel. W's in the chat. We just canceled the Opus Clip membership. We let them know that they have a competitor on them. All right, still getting this on the. That's interesting. Okay, so I think what's happening is that, that is interesting, isn't it? I think that it may have fixed it though. All right. We'll see. There's plenty more work to do with this. I think the biggest task for me is to now actually get this pushed up to AWS so that it's spinning up in production and that we can get the connection between the API and this working in production. But this is big. I mean, this is a feature that is, you know, pretty good. Because, you know, why I wanted to do this is because I use Opus clips so much. You know, it's you know, and for those marketing streams, in the modern day, you need to be able to, if you're creating long form content, clipping is essential because there's so many people that use clips. AWS is better for production and like scaling, because the plan is I think in 2026 we're going to be easily able to scale this to over $10,000 a month in early 2026 once we get the marketing down and start scaling. So I wanted to get started on AWS. Yeah, if you guys haven't already joined the Discord, make sure you do so. Also, I see we have 159 people watching and only 145 likes. So if you have not already liked the stream or subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm live every single day. But guys, I have something to tell you. This is going to be sad, I know. But Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and I am not going to be streaming tomorrow. I know, guys.
Unfortunately, I do have something called a family, and I will be choosing not to neglect my family on Thanksgiving. I know, guys, it's tough. It's tough. But get this. Once Thanksgiving's over, I will not be taking a day off from streaming until Christmas. How's that sound? How does that sound, guys? I will not be able to be, I will not be taking a single day off. Oh, guys, I've also got more news. You guys, this is gonna be a good one. Yesterday, I went on a date with a girl. I know, chat. I know. I don't know. I told her, I said, hey, listen, you know, I told the chat that I wasn't gonna date anybody, and yeah, she wants to have a conversation with the chat at some point. I know, guys, I know. Yeah. She doesn't know about BridgeMind yet, though. I think that'll turn her off really quick. I'll be like, yeah, I live stream I live stream software engineering. She'll be out of there so fast. Nah, you guys won't lose me. Don't worry. J35 just says nah. No, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a poll at some point. If it gets a little bit more serious, we're gonna take a poll, and this is a democracy, okay? This is a democracy. Thanks, Metheus. Justin Jefferson, we're actually going to stick with ViewCreator for a while. That actually is the main mission. Alright, let's see the logs here. Let's see them. Thanks, Brother Codes. I'm really interested to see how this turns out. So it's still rendering. It's kind of taking a bit to render this one. Because one problem is that, you know, with these, you know, it is using an AI assistant to do this, right? So if you toss in an unexpected format, it could be a little bit challenging for it, right? So you can see it's cropping it. So you can see that it is cropping it. We'll see how it turns out. I feel like that's the only way to really see is to test it. What do you mean the classes? MC Club. But yeah, guys, we're up to 8,640 subscribers. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. The goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers before January 1st, 2026. It looks like it's, it said scaled it to, oh, wow. Okay, we'll see. Because remember, this is a different type of format. That's why I think that this is going to be an interesting one, is because this is taking in this video here. So watch this. You know, it's taking in this video of the prime time, and he doesn't really do a whole lot of screen sharing, right? Well, he does here. So we'll see how it turns out. But there's a lot of this where I think what's going to be interesting, and we'll be able to figure it out, but for example, here, this is a talking head, right? That's a talking head layout. So it's gonna need to be able to like pick up on that and adjust. And I think how we're gonna do that is, let's say that we have screen share working really well, right? So screen share is working really well. So if that layout is working really well, then we can also make it so that we can get a talking head layout working really well, or a podcast layout working really well. And then we could integrate into our system this idea of making it so that it's able to go frame by frame and adjust the layout automatically based off of what it's actually seeing. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So it'll be able to take a look at a frame and be able to say, okay, this is screen share, not just this video is only screen share. Like we'll go one at a time, and then J35, I'm still on monk mode, guys. Don't worry. Last Sentinel said, good to see you happy, buddy. We are finally through one of our hardest challenges yet. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough, guys. That was freaking tough. But, you know, it's like I said, I mean, I'm not kidding. It's so funny because I am somebody that the hate, you know, I do, because I'm on the internet, I get a lot of hate, right? And the hate just genuinely doesn't bother me. I guess it's just in my nature. It just doesn't get to me. It actually, if anything, it motivates me. So, for example, when I was getting off the stream and I saw somebody at the end of the stream, because I basically said, I still can't get it, guys. I'm going to end the stream here. You know, I'm going to work on this offline. Looks like this just completed. So that did take a little bit longer to generate these clips, probably because it was confused, right? So yeah, so this is where now we're running into issues.
Over again is, how much are these package managers worth? Is it good that we can so easily publish and download?
Which is what I expected.
Hey NPM, I thought we made an agreement. We agreed no more worms until 2026. Yet here you are, the 11th month, the 24th day, and we got ourselves another worm. That's right, Shah Halud is back. The NPM magicians are here taking everybody's credentials.
Yeah, so, you know, I kind of expected this because we are doing, this is the layout. Shout out to J35, Jesse, and the Linux thing. You guys rock. Also, shout out to Dan. Shout out to Max. I appreciate y'all, you guys. Thank you. So, yeah, so I mean, this is expected. This one's decent, though.
So when an infected repository is downloaded, what ends up happening is that it ends up running the script, which then ends up taking the user's local credentials, which ends up using NPM publish. The old same song and dance. People, where is your two-factor authentication? How does this keep on happening? Even more confusing is this second part. I still don't understand how exactly this one's happening, but the malicious code will create a workflow, formatter 123456789.yaml, which will actually create a GitHub action runner called SHA-1 Halud. Very clever name, by the way. Can't be too upset about that. That creates effectively your secrets being double base encoded. And as you can see here, a lot of people had a beautiful repository named SHA-1 Halud, the second coming.
I mean, I will say the clips are pretty good. Like, I mean, you have to admit, the clipping mechanism where it's actually able to clip a good part of the video, that does really well. Yeah, so P.S. Wart, sorry, I'm butchering your name. I really hate that YouTube did that name change. It used to be so easy to like say people's names on YouTube chat, and now it's like PDS Wart. But yeah, so he said that why does it have to split? And so that's the interesting thing that we're now up against now, is that we're gonna have to figure out how to make it so that it's able to interchange the layouts based off of what's actually in that frame, right? So yeah, this is way better. No, you don't get copyrighted for that. The only way to... But this is great. GPT 5.1 right now. So, you know, for our use case, in terms of marketing ViewCreator for ViewCreator, what's nice is that, you know, we can now market ViewCreator with ViewCreator because all of our layouts are shared screens, right? So, anyway, I think this is a good place to stop for today. You know, I want to wrap up and just kind of take a step back here. I'm gonna keep working. I'm just gonna take a step back and figure out, hey, what do I want to do with this layout issue? But I probably need to research it a little bit more. So thanks guys for being tuned in today. Crazy stream, like over 150 people watching for most of the stream today. So I'm happy that you're here. If you haven't already just joined the Discord, make sure you do so. Also, like and subscribe. And like I said, I will not be live tomorrow. I probably will be live later this evening for a vibe coding no talking stream where I'll continue to work on this feature and just grinding, but I will not be live tomorrow. So with that being said, guys, have a great rest of your day.